Well, hello, EKN Nation. Welcome to another edition of the EKN OutLap. It is episode number 21. It's April the 13th, 2021. And for those of you who are podcast fans of everything we do at eKarting News, this is essentially our preview podcast. We use this show to detail and kind of take a deep dive into an upcoming EKN Trackside event. We talk about the teams, drivers, you name it, current point standings, that kind of a thing, any special stories. That's all kind of what's going on here. My name is Rob Howden, joined again by David Cole. He'll be the guy in charge of the coverage this coming weekend as we start talking about the World Karting Association Charlotte Motor Speedway Karting Challenge. Before we do that, let's talk about our presenting sponsor for today's podcast, Briggs Racing. Briggs & Stratton is powering Operation Grassroots around the world. No other engine manufacturer is getting new and returning drivers to the kart track like the Briggs 206. The out-of-the-box performance of the Briggs 206 provides the most fun, excitement, and reliability of any karting engine on the global market. Learn more about the 206 engine and the history behind Briggs & Stratton's century-long commitment to motorsports at www.briggsracing.com. Briggs & Stratton Racing, what powers you? All right, David, let's just jump in here really quickly, kind of give a bit of a start to this one here. April the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, this coming weekend. A lot going on at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Challenge. Really, as we talk about this a lot, it's kind of a throwback to the North American Karting Championships at Charlotte. 3 different disciplines going on at the facility in Concord, North Carolina.
Yeah, for the older karters, they remember North American Karting Championships, but for the newer karters, it's very similar to what you see during Daytona Kart Week, where the World Karting Association brings together all 3 programs that they have with the Manufacturers Cup Series, the Road Racing Series, and the Speedway Dirt Series as well, too, all racing at the same facility. Well, you get it same in Daytona, same in Charlotte, just a different time this year and in the April. We've seen it happen in July when it first came back in 2019. That was the first time that karts returned back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, both road racing and manufactured cup side. And again, yeah, it's just that unique factor of having all these different genres of karting all together under one umbrella.
Yeah, you think about it, David. The track at Charlotte has been used as a road racing facility for many years. We've talked about the North American Karting Championships back in the late '90s, but then Charlotte built their dirt track there a number of years ago, and maybe this thing couldn't have happened, to be honest, if it weren't for the fact that they repaved the kart track within NASCAR's turns 3 and 4 at the track, because it was a legendary track for many, many years there inside the track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. But once it got repaved, I'm sure the mind started thinking of some people at WKA saying, you know what, we can do this again.
Well, that's what it needed, because the first year it didn't have that racetrack, the sprint track, the historic sprint track that we're now talking about, because they manufactured a circuit using part of the Roval that road racing is now using, and kind of made it. It was really more of a road racing track than it was a sprint track.
Yeah, but it wasn't weird. It was like the sprint track was actually a road racing track, and the road racing track just wasn't really a road racing track. Right, because they had to use the Roval to have both tracks for both road race and sprint.
Exactly. Yeah, it took away from the road racers by putting the sprint, the Manufacturers Cup side of things, on the actual Roval part of the facility. So yeah, that's what kind of hampered the return back inside the Charlotte Motor Speedway, because it had been a number of years since karts had really been in there or had a major event inside. And so now we have, this pristine racetrack that was repaved at the beginning of 2020, basically about a year ago from now it was completed. And now we have the opportunity to have all 3 events running together again. This time, obviously, it's different with dirt, because dirt used to be on the backstretch where they did have a dirt track for kart racing. Now they're at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway, where you see the World of Outlaws, the super late models, all those fantastic, amazing, huge events at the dirt track. Now karts are inside there for the last 3 years now.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Let's have a look, David, at the weather first and foremost. Actually, no, before we go weather, let's talk about what we're doing down there, which is interesting. Normally, those of you who are familiar with our EKN Trackside live program, myself or some of the other announcers we work with, we stream live play-by-play throughout the weekend. David, you're rocking social media coverage, all the daily race reports, and it's focused and has always been focused on the sprint side of things, the Manufacturers Cup, SCUSA Pro Tour, Challenge of the Americas, USPKS, whatever it may be, Rock Island Grand Prix. This weekend's different. WKA came to us and said, hey, you know what? We want to put some focus and support on our road racing program. So first and foremost, what you're focusing on, David, when you're trackside is road racing.
Yeah, that's good. That's going to be it. We're going to be tailoring all our coverage, most of our coverage towards the road racing group, especially Saturday and Sunday when they do begin racing. The Manufacturers Cup side, we're getting there early enough on Thursday to where we're going to be able to roam the paddock Thursday during their optional practice. And racing actually begins on Friday as they have a 3-day racing format. And we'll get into that a little bit more, but the road racing is going to be the majority of our coverage, and it's not going to be audio coverage. That's just kind of impossible to do with road racing and the fact that there is no announcer. So we're going to just focus mainly on obviously daily reports at the end of each day. That's going to be, a great way to kind of get a recap of what happened each day, but mostly just social media updates and videos, photos, a couple interviews here and there, and more of an educational side of things to kind of help inform the karting community what road racing really is about.
Yeah. I love it. Let's talk weather, because obviously we're kind of setting the stage here. We talked about the racetracks. We talked about the date this coming weekend, April 15th to the 18th. What are we looking at for weather in North Carolina?
Well, I was just in South Carolina last week, and it was like perfect weather, high 70s, almost low 80s a little bit, perfect sunshine all weekend long. This weekend in North Carolina is going to be temps in the low 70s to the high 60s, but thankfully going to have partly sunny to cloudy skies, so at least none of that R word is going to be hampering in on the weekend thus far as of the weather forecast this morning.
Welcome back from your vacation, by the way, Dave.
Yeah, it was kind of like a crazy leave, and now it's a crazy return as I get back on the road Thursday. Luckily this time, luckily though, I am flying instead of driving 2 days down and then 2 days back.
That's true. All right, folks, quick break in the action. When we get back, Dave's going to dive into the road racing series a little bit. We'll talk about the track itself, talk about the event schedule, and look into a little bit of the race group breakdown. Dave will give you a little insight into how road racing is handled with the WKA. Stay with us, folks. More to come here on this edition of the OutLap. In karting, it's important to be supported by the right people. With over 40 years of experience in the sport, Trinity Karting Group has everything you need to make your program successful. We do it all, and we do it right. Trackside support and arrive and drive programs are available in 2021 for the USPKS and the SuperKarts USA Pro Tour and Super Nationals, with full product sales and service and professional coaching from our experienced staff. Trinity Karting Group is a full-service operation based at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, which gives us access to our custom-designed driver training facility. This allows us to offer private, one-on-one coaching to take you to the next level. Trinity Karting Group is also your Midwest home for Tony Kart and IAME, and we're your source for MG and Avinco tires in the region. Tony Kart quality cannot be beat, so call us today to put you in a new chassis for your next event. From arrive and drive and coaching programs to the parts you need, let Trinity Karting Group provide you with customer service and a racing experience second to none. Trinity Karting Group has a long history in the sport, a winning pedigree, and we're dedicated to driver development. We take pride in our professional approach and our positive attitude. Let us build a custom race program for you. Give us a call at 513-421-4463 or check us out online at trinitykartinggroup.com. Acceleration Kart Racing is your first and only stop on the internet for karts, parts, and the safety gear you need to get you on the track. Visit shopakr.com for a great selection of karting equipment on a user-friendly website. Acceleration Kart Racing has aligned itself with many of the top manufacturers and distributors of the sport, to ensure all the latest equipment is available to you, the racer. With over 20 years in business and customer support available 6 days a week, you can be confident about getting the right parts at the right price when you need them. Be sure to visit shopakr.com today or stop by their headquarters in Las Vegas. Make sure to follow Acceleration Kart Racing on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest specials and new arrivals. Welcome back to episode number 21 of the EKN OutLap, our preview podcast, and the event we're talking about this coming weekend's WKA Charlotte Motor Speedway Karting Challenge. Dirt racing, sprint racing, and of course road racing as part of this incredible event. Rob Haddon here alongside David Cole. David, let's talk about the road racing series. That'll be your focus, as you had said before the break. That's what we're looking at here for this year, this edition of the EKN Trackside program. They're running the NASCAR Roval, 2.2 miles, 15 turns. Tell us a little bit about the layout they're doing, because they did change the layout of it for this year, correct?
Yeah, it's the true NASCAR Roval minus the backstretch chicane that you see on TV. So what you see, the NASCAR Cup and Xfinity and all the other programs, even the IMSA program that ran down there, I think it was just the GT that had, or GT and I think prototypes were there in the rain. That was a little bit crazy to watch there. Not too often do you see a Roval in the rain, aside from maybe Daytona 24.
That's it.
But it's basically what you see on TV or what you see on iRacing. Same type of layout where you come through the tri-oval and you go into the infield. You get a couple lefts, a couple rights, and then a couple rights again, and then two lefts to get back onto the oval. And then you come all the way around through NASCAR 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and you come do the little S's that you see in the tri-oval area. That same one that NASCAR uses. So it kind of helps slow gives the competitors another little bit of a braking zone and more turns as well. So it's going to be a quick course. Obviously, only 2.2 miles, and while there's 15 turns. A lot of those turns are going to be super fast. There's not tight turns like what we've seen in 2019 with that revised layout that road racing has, or even last year's layout that used all of the infield, which was a little bit of a longer course and provided a little bit more elevation change and some tighter corners as well too.
This different layout, David, is going to change the actual kind of feel for the race for the different categories, right? Because there's going to be less technicality of some of the tighter corners for the drivers, maybe in the Briggs categories or some of maybe the Yamaha classes. They'll be more flat out around the racetrack. It probably serves the lay down enduro karts a lot better, I would think.
I think that's one of the reasons why they went to this layout was. It did help the laydown karts that are part of the road racing program a little bit more, because as you said, it's more of a flat out layout, and we won't know until we actually do it, because we haven't had karts on this actual layout. So Friday, once they hit the track for the first time, we'll see what exactly the numbers we get for a lap time and what we're getting for speeds in certain sections of the racetrack. And but yes, it should certainly spread out those different race groups, as we have, some of the slower categories mixed in with some faster categories. So we're going to see a lot of, there's going to definitely be a lot of lap traffic, I think, with it still being only 2.2 miles. We'll learn a little bit more about the actual track itself when karts hit the racetrack.
So give us an insight on the event schedule. What do we got going on? Then let's break down the Saturday and Sunday race groups as well. What classes are in each race group?
So as I said, Friday will be the official practice day. They actually have move-in on the morning due to the garage area where road racing is going to be set up is being utilized on Thursday. So who knows what's going on Thursday? That Charlotte Motor Speedway said, guys, you can't move in quite yet. So move-in will be in that morning. Official practice begins at 1 p.m. and goes until 6 p.m. So a little bit of a shortened day for official practice day. As typically road racing, you're pretty much on track from 9 a.m. to about 5 p.m. So a little bit of a shortened practice day, but not too much of a technical racetrack to learn. So I think competitors will get up to speed really quick with the layout. And then as we move into race day 1, which will be on Saturday, April 17th, we'll see 7 different race groups compete throughout the day. So it's not typically what you see sprint racing, where you go in, you qualify, or at a club race, maybe do a little P-pick, and then you do some heat or pre-final races, and then you have your main event for the day. Well, road racing, you're going to have basically practice by groups like you did on Friday for about 2 hours come Saturday morning to kind of like their warm up, either more than likely 2 sessions per practice group. And then we'll get right into racing. Essentially what road racing does is they have timed races. So very similar to what you see with IMSA and you see with 12 hours of Sebring or 24 hour of Daytona, except here you have events that are 30 minutes long or 45 minutes long, depending on the actual race group that is going to be on track. Typically what you see is the sprint categories, such as the same ones that you have at Manufacturers Cup Series. Those are about 30 minutes. Those are the 30-minute categories. Anywhere from the cadets that they're going to have out there, from Briggs 206, tags, the 100cc categories as well, animal divisions, all these different groups. They're typically about 30 minutes. The laydown categories are 45 minutes long, so they have a little bit extra fuel on their machines to be able to go the 45 minutes. In the old days, it used to be an hour. Which that was kind of how they did the racing. It was race groups every hour is how they marked them off, and now they're down to 45 because we're getting more and more race groups. So 7 is a hefty number of race groups, and looking at it, the most classes we have, I think, is 10 in the final race group on Saturday. So you have 10 different classes in one race group, which kind of makes a little bit of a cluster when it comes to, seeing what's going on the racetrack. But it still provides a lot of people the opportunity to go either do one race or have the option to do multiple classes within the same day. So, do
you want to go through the actual race groups themselves, or that was that the plan?
I mean,
it take a while.
There's a lot, so that's kind of like, basically, I just kind of wanted to break down. You have 7 race groups. And the same thing happens on Sunday. Essentially, the same race groups are in the same are together on Sunday. They kind of rearrange them depending on to shuffle around per year. Some are later in the day at one event, and then earlier in the day and next, so people will have the opportunity to leave earlier. But yeah, like I said, the one race group on Saturday has 10 different classes in that race group. That includes like clones, 206, all 3 Margay Ignite programs. We'll talk a little bit more about the Margay Ignite program later. A tag junior animal, cadet 206, and junior 206. So you're talking all those 10 categories racing for 30 minutes on the track at the same time. That's what road racing really is about. You have a laydown category. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 classes out there together in one race group just before that. So there's 7 classes racing for 45 minutes on the racetrack. So
it really is it's like IMSA, right? It's multi-class racing.
It is. And you depending on what class you're in, you have the opportunity to be the overall leader. Some of these classes are split in the way they start. All the categories start with a Le Mans style start from pit lane. Yep. They're split up probably about 10 or 15 seconds in between each class, or 2 classes maybe go together at the same time, depending on, speed and overall lap times to kind of help separate the groups a little bit at the beginning. So you don't have, say, 300 or 200 carts all going at one time. But that's in the old days when we had 150 carts in one class.
That's it. All right, folks, listen, we'll take another quick break here. When we get back, David will give us a little overview of the Manufacturers Cup event that's happening at the racetrack as well. We'll go over the event schedule there and dial in on what's happening on all 3 days. We'll talk a bit about the prize package as well. That'll be up next here on the OutLap. It all started in 1994 when former successful kart driver Albino Parolin decided to move his passion for karting from the track to his small workshop. That's when Parolin was born. Fast forward 20 years, and Parolyn's passion for the sport led to the company rejoining international competitions as a factory team in WSK and CIK FIA races, with the aim of enhancing the research and development process, immediately achieving notable results around Europe, North America, and Asia, becoming the CIK FIA Asia Pacific KZ champion in the same year. Parolyn USA is North America's source for Parolyn products, and we run a factory team at all of the major Superkarts USA and Rock Cup USA events. The Parolyn chassis lineup for 2021 includes the Invader Shifter, the Le Mans Tag single-speed chassis for junior and senior classes, and the 28mm mini kart for the cadet classes. Parolyn has been winning races all over the world, and it's on top of the podium in the USA as well, with drivers like Kai Sorensen, Mateus Orjuela, and Alessandro De Tullio. Get on the chassis that's winning. Drive a Parolyn. For more information, head to ParolynUSA.com. Experience and passion. That's what led to the launch of AMAX Racing. Owner Charles Maxwell began AMAX Racing in 2015, expanding the operation in 2019 with a focus on driver development for racers of all age groups and backgrounds. From top-level drivers to grassroots racers or families looking for a team that will help them achieve their goals, AMAX Racing can guide you with the absolute best trackside service at affordable prices. No matter the chassis, AMAX Racing welcomes you and has the experience to put you on the top of the podium. You can join the AMAX Racing family in 2021 at the Cup Karts North America, United States Pro Kart Series, and WKA Manufacturers Cup Series, along with selected local events at Whiteland Raceway Park and Newcastle Motorsports Park. For more information, contact them at 317-437-5886 or find them on Facebook. AMAX Racing, all of your karting needs under one tent. Welcome back to a new edition of the EKN OutLap, as David Cole is giving us some insight into this coming weekend's WKA Charlotte Karting Challenge down at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. 3 different styles of racing: sprint, asphalt, as well as road racing, and the dirt drivers, as dirt round guys as well, the Speedway Dirt Series. David, let's go Manufacturers Cup. We talked about it from the very start of the show. Newly repaved racetrack, about 0.6 of a mile, 13 corners, as you said, repaved in 2020. 2 events last year. They already have had some racing there. They got a club series they got going. This track at Charlotte Motor Speedway is really, I think, going to be a key addition to what we have going in the sport right now.
Yeah, that summer series that they're going to have at Charlotte Motor Speedway, run with the World Karting Association, that'll, I believe, begin either at the end of the month or next or early in May. So that will kind of kick things off for that new program. I believe 5 races throughout the summer inside the Charlotte Motor Speedway, kind of working with the GoPro Motorplex to make sure, some of their racers have the opportunity to try Charlotte Motor Speedway. So those 2 programs are kind of working in together to kind of just provide an opportunity to do something different. This event with the Manufacturers Cup Series, obviously the second race of the 2021 championship program, the first event down in Daytona during Daytona Kart Week, which happened between Christmas and the New Year's and at the end of 2020. This weekend, kind of following a similar format where they're going to have basically different races throughout the weekend doing different formats. Everything kind of begins with Thursday, the optional practice on April 15th. All the different categories will have about 4 sessions to run on, 4 10-minute sessions to run on the day to provide them an opportunity to take on the racetrack. The racetrack itself is actually going to be a little bit different from what we're used to. As you typically come through turn 1, you make another tight turn into turn 2, and then you take the S's up through towards turn 3, NASCAR turn 3. This time they're going to make turn 1 a 90-degree corner and then go straight down to a optional turn 2, which will be another 90-degree right-hand corner. So a little bit of a different layout from what we're used to seeing from back in the day of the North American Karting Championships or even Stars of Karting and the old Manufacturers Cup Series events there. So So that'll obviously give the competitors an opportunity to get used to the racetrack. As I said, races are going to be on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So 3 days of racing, and all these different categories have different formats throughout the weekend.
So what do we got to start the day one off? Micro and Mini. Looks like the Ignite drivers on track with Kid Kart and F100 Junior and Senior as well.
Yeah, Micro and Mini Rock begin the weekend on day one for those categories. So those mini and micro drivers are on the Rock package for day one. They'll be able to doing a format of qualifying, 2 heat races, and a final. As you said, the Ignite program begins on day one as well with their Senior, Masters, Junior. They will do qualifying, pre-final, and final, along with the Kid Kart Comer category, which will follow the similar format. The Formula F100 Junior and Senior categories, they're a 2-day program, so they'll essentially get qualifying and 2 rounds of heat races in on day one. So different categories, about 7 different categories, all with different formats. So a little bit kind of crazy to follow, but thankfully, all that you follow the time schedule, everything falls in line. But that essentially is your day one there.
So we come back on day 2 with the 206 cadets. So there's 15 in total. They're going to do that qualifying, 2 heat races, and a final lineup. And then just like you had with Formula 100 Junior and Senior on day 1, the 206 senior drivers and junior drivers, David, they're going to run the qualifying and 2 heat races on day 2, which is Saturday, and they'll come back on Sunday for their final heat race and main event.
Exactly. That's the format that they'll follow. F100 Junior and Senior, they'll wrap up their weekend on day 2 with their 3rd heat race and then their main event on day 2, which is Saturday. Ignite Senior, Ignite Masters, and Ignite Junior, they come back for a full day of competing on day 2. So day 1 is separate from day 2, and they'll do another qualifying, pre-final, and final format. So that's essentially your first 2 days of competition. And then we move into day 3, which welcomes back the mini and micro drivers, this time on the Swift engine, with the IME Swift engine. They'll be doing a qualifying heat 1, heat 2, and final format, very similar to what they do on day 1. The 206 senior and junior categories, they'll wrap up their 3rd heat race along with the main event. And then Kid Kart Briggs will join in for a full day of competition along with X30 Junior. They'll do qualifying, pre-final, and final.
Nice. And WKA doing a good job putting a prize package together. There's actually $1,000 up for grabs, David, in the F100 Junior and Senior classes, and in 206 Junior and Senior as well.
Yeah, those were the categories that were kind of the highlight of Daytona during Daytona Kart Week, and now they've continued that into the Charlotte weekend, putting up $1,000 for each category to win. Free entry to the Newcastle Motorsports Park event later this year for 2nd place, with free sets of Vega tires for the 3rd position driver in each category.
And in the 206 senior and junior category, you have to have 20 entries for the cash, or is that just for the 2nd and 3rd place money?
Yeah, that's just for 2nd and 3rd. Again, $1,000 to win in those 2 divisions. $500 from WKA, $500 from Briggs and Stratton to make up that $1,000 for each category. And as you said, must have 20 entries in the 2 categories for money to be paid out for 2nd and 3rd. And as of right now, senior might be able to get up there, and junior is going to need a little bit more in the numbers for that to happen.
Nice. All right, folks, another break in the action. When we get back, we'll touch briefly on the event at the Speedway Dirt Series of that dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. David will talk more about that. Stay with us. We'll touch on that when we get back. Fast, fair, and fun. Ignite Spec Karting offers you all of that at an affordable price. And the all-new IgniteKarting.com website provides you with the information you need to fuel your passion for kart racing. Ignite Karting is a spec kart that features the Margay racing chassis with a Briggs & Stratton 206 engine and a Hoosier R80 tire. Everyone in the junior, senior, and masters classes utilize the same Ignite K3 kart, which puts all the emphasis squarely on the driver. You can race the Ignite package from Margay at the local, regional, and national level. Special events for 2021 include the Ignite Majors, featuring events at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, Quincy Grand Prix, and Newcastle Motorsports Park. Those in the Midwest can enjoy the regional-based Ignite Challenge Series at tracks in Iowa, Missouri, Indiana, and Illinois. Local club programs have been established in Idaho, Texas, Nebraska, New York, Ohio, and Florida. All the information that you're looking for on events throughout the country and on all the Ignite kart packages, including dealers in your area, is available at ignitekarting.com. Get off the couch and on the track this year. Ignite Karting. Fuel your passion. You can buy all the latest and greatest products on the market, but when you're karting to win, it boils down to one thing: you, the driver. Gain the knowledge and abilities by investing in yourself at the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, and you'll find those extra tenths of a second you need to put yourself on the podium. The school was established by SuperKarts USA Hall of Fame driver Alan Rudolph, with decades of victories and championships in multiple forms of the sport, including other disciplines of racing. The Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, located at the Speed Sports Racing Park in the metropolitan Houston area, is designed to teach driving skills at all levels. The instructors of the Academy have decades of racing experience and educating drivers of all ages. Classes at the Academy will teach the concepts and skills needed both behind the wheel and off the track. From the beginning kart racing experience and intro to karting courses, to their advanced one-day and two-day courses and karting clinics, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy can improve the skills of any driver. For more information on the specific programs that the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy can provide for you, head to speedsports.com and click on the Racing Academy page. Be sure to follow the Academy on social media by searching for Alan Rudolph Racing Academy. Welcome back to the EKN OutLap. David Cole giving us a little look inside this coming weekend's Charlotte Motor Speedway event, the Karting Challenge, part of the World Karting Association, Speedway Dirt Series, Manufacturers Cup Series, and National Road Racing Series, all on the racetrack, as will the group from the Margay Ignite program. David, in this particular section, let's talk about the Dirt Series event. I know that you're going to try to get over there to see a little bit of it as well. Third year for this event at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, again, and it's basically a one-off event, something they did the last 2 years before they kickstarted the Speedway, Dirt Speedway Pavement series back again throughout the 2021 season. So this is still going to be a one-off event, and they're actually working with the GOAT series, which is something, again, we're not familiar with, but I'm assuming it's a Carolina program, something having to do with the dirt racing down there. And so basically there they have 2 days of racing. Friday, April 16th will be full of the WKA categories that are recognized. So 13 races in total. And again, that's the crazy thing about dirt racing. Money up for grabs in nearly every category you compete in. Basically 500 to win in some of these warm-up classes that they call them, including the junior categories, semi-pro and clone. $1,000 to win in clone heavy and super heavy. The junior pro categories get $750 to win, along with semi-pro, and the big money is $2,000 to win in the all pro category and the pro super heavy division. So those will be the two categories that everybody will be watching on Friday night.
So they come back on Saturday with the GOAT classes from that series you talked about, 19 races in total, but $3,000 for pro stock heavy. They'll be the big hitters in the dirt world out for these events for sure.
Oh yeah, you'll see the big names and the big chassis manufacturers certainly, and the engine builders in the pro stock heavy with that $3,000 to win, $2,000 to win in the pro stock super heavy division as well too. So big bucks up for grabs on Saturday night. Junior drivers get a little bit more to race for, with $1,000 to win in the Junior 1, Junior 2, and Junior 3 pro divisions. And then a number of categories racing for $500 to win, $300 to win, along with $200 and $150 to win in the lower categories.
Back in the day, mid-2000s, I used to publish a magazine called Speedway USA. It covered a lot of dirt racing. Things, of course, changed in the last 15 plus years. Looking through these couple of these categories, though: stock heavy prelude, stock super heavy prelude, semi-pro. Here's the one I like: Junior 4. They call it the hooligan class. That's perfect.
Yeah, it's an they have some certainly odd names now, mind you. Tecumseh Star, like nobody really knew what that was
But that was the engine, at least.
Unless you knew that it was an engine, exactly.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it some of the names are at least pro stock heavy. It kind of sounds like a dragster a little bit.
Yeah, I get it.
So it kind of helps there.
Well, that's stock heavy, right? The stock heavy, stock super heavy, whatever. It's just a pro class, but the hooligan class.
But then there's nothing stock about the actual engine, right?
That's very true. That is 100% true. Very true. All right, folks. One more break in the action. We get back, David. Let's dive into Margay Ignite. Big part of the Manufacturers Cup Series, but running both the Manufacturers Cup Series and the Road Racing Series as well as they did in Daytona. I love this new evolution for the Margay Ignite class, and we'll touch on that before we cap up this edition of the OutLap. All over the karting world, everyone knows OTK is the gold standard for quality and performance. In the US, OTK USA is the source for all things OTK. From the legendary Tony Kart brand to the race-winning Cosmic and Esprit chassis, and now the new Red Speed and EOS brands, OTK quality is second to none. All 5 brands are winning races and championships across the country in national programs like the Rock Cup USA Florida Winter Tour and the Challenge of the Americas, the SCUSA Pro Tour and Winter Series, and the Pro Kart Challenge, the United States Pro Kart Series, and the WKA Manufacturers Cup. And OTK products are also front and center on the podium of club and regional races from coast to coast. To learn more about a specific product line, you can find the OTK USA dealer near you, whether it's Tony Kart, Cosmic, Esprit, Red Speed, or EOS. Visit www.otkusa.com. Specific chassis territories are still available, so kart shops interested in adding a winning component to their product lineups can contact OTK USA directly. In racing, experience is priceless. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry with over 50 years of combined karting experience, and we can provide you with everything you need to go racing. With a large online product selection, select track support events, and a wide variety of shop services, Franklin Motorsports is your complete karting source. Check out our online store at www.franklinkart.com, where all our products are just a mouse click away. We're constantly adding to the growing product selection on the online store, and we ship daily to ensure products get to you quickly. We specialize in IAME engines, Tillett seats, ceramic products, driveline branded products, Briggs & Stratton engines, OTK products, and of course, the championship-winning Merlin chassis. In our online store, you'll find a variety of items to fill your karting needs. Franklin Motorsports is also known for our wide variety of services and is home to Innovative Engine Works by FMS, our in-house engine service department. Frame straightening, kart prep, and dyno testing are all services offered regularly at Franklin Motorsports. For all things karting, visit franklinkart.com. Welcome back to the final segment of episode 21 of the EKN OutLap, our preview podcast, part of our EKN Trackside live coverage. David Cole heading down to the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the WKA Charlotte Karting Challenge this coming weekend. Our focus will be primarily, and the majority of it will be on the road racing program. Really excited to do something a bit different with the EKN program. David, of course, longtime karting, road racing karting family. David and his entire Cole family. So I'm sure he'll enjoy getting back into the pad. There knows a lot of people trackside. David, another thing you've done a ton of over the last 10 years, or a little less than that, is Margay Ignite racing. You and I have both run a lot of Margay Ignite races, whether it was at Rock Island, whether it was at the Battle at the Brickyard, whatever it may be. Margay Ignite back as part of this program with the WKA. They're going to be part of this event in both the Manufacturers Cup Series races and the road racing program as well.
Yeah, it's certainly a unique format that they're following for the 2021 program. It all began down in Daytona during Daytona Kart Week, following a very similar format to where they would go sprint racing with the Manufacturers Cup Series for 2 days and then head over to road race for 1 day there, or with the option of doing both on one of the days as well. And they have that similar format here going into the Charlotte Motor Speedway weekend. Friday, April 16th, the focus will be at the Manufacturers Cup Series with Ignite Senior, Ignite Masters, and Ignite Junior racing on the weekend. The numbers right now are looking pretty good with 14 in Senior, 7 in the Masters category with 8 in the Junior division. So a good, good amount of almost 30 drivers there in the Ignite program alone in those 3 categories. So that's good numbers for that. Saturday, they come back. They do day 2 at the sprint track with Senior, Masters, and Juniors. And then there's the option of actually racing on the road racing side as well. At the end of the day, in that 10 group, 10 class race group at the end of the day, hey, quick change of gear, maybe head over to the road race and get a 30-minute race in at the end of the day on the big track. There's that option of doing both. We'll see. As far as I know, there are drivers entered in the Ignite road racing program on that would be the 17th. Yeah, so we have a couple drivers entered on that day. So we'll see if those are drivers that are actually doing both or if they're just focused on road race. Then Sunday, April 18th, everything moves to the road racing side of things. They'll actually be the first race group out on the track, on the big Roval racetrack with Ignite Senior, Masters, and Juniors taking part in the opening race group for a 30-minute race on that Roval track. So we'll be following a little bit of the Ignite program, obviously, with all the road racing stuff we're doing. But we're going to be obviously seeing what they do on the sprint track, and then again see what we're able to see if we have drivers doing both on that Saturday evening, and then talk with some of the racers that may be doing the Roval for the first time, and when they come do the road race on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm obviously going to be busy myself with the Road to Indy at Barber Motorsports Park this weekend, but I'm definitely going to be watching what you're doing on the side to see the coverage you bring out, just the focus on road racing. I think it's going to be tremendous. So, folks, make sure you follow EKN on all of our social media platforms for updates: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. A lot of Instagram, of course. Maybe some Facebook Live. We'll see. To follow everything we do. Always easy on social media if you use the right hashtag. David will make sure he includes them. Hashtag EKN at WKA and hashtag CMS Karting Challenge. And of course, just hashtag karting as well. David, it's going to be something different for you, man. You'll be, you won't be having to run a broadcast. You won't be having to run from the track back and forth to do everything. You'll be able to have a little more time to spend some time in the paddock and really get a good feel for road racing.
Well, I have the feel for road racing. That's going to be the easy part, but definitely kind of just, again, educating people on what road racing is, the different categories, the different machines that are used in road racing. We'll be seeing some familiar names that we've seen sprint racing that will be road racing this weekend. We'll introduce you to some very prominent names into the road racing division as well.
I like it.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. And as you said, it'll be a little bit easier not managing a broadcast all day long. So it does provide us this opportunity to kind of move around and provide different things. Videos are going to be a focus. As you said, we'll try and do some live video on Facebook throughout the weekend, maybe some IG live. We just have the options are endless. It's a matter of what we can do per day.
That's it. All right, David, thank you so much, man. That wraps things up, folks, here on the EKN OutLap. This edition, of course, focusing on the World Karting Association Charlotte Motor Speedway Karting Challenge this coming weekend down in Concord, North Carolina. As David said from the top, temperatures in the low 70s to high 60s, sun with some cloud. It's going to be a tremendous weekend. As long as the dreaded R word stays away, I think everybody will be happy. Get this event rocking, and especially on the new track at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the new sprint track as well. And we'll see the road racers attack that Roval that NASCAR and IMSA have tackled a few times as well. Thank you so much for joining us here, folks, here on the EKN Radio Network. Make sure to follow us on all our social media channels throughout the weekend. Look for David's daily reports on ekartingnews.com. Thank you so much again for joining us. On behalf of David Cole, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.